Okay, we are getting all of our streams up and going now.
Getting
All of our streams up and
it
going
takes
now.
just a few seconds for us to get all the bubbles out.
It
It takes just a few seconds for us to get all the bubbles out. It takes just a few seconds for us to get all the bubbles out.
Just go and click on them real quick. Tell them all to go live. Go and click on them real quick. Tell them all to go live. Go and click on them real quick. Tell them all to go live. Go and click on them real quick. Tell them all to go live. Go and click on them real quick. Tell them all. Okay, and it sounds like I've got the echo problem. Got the echo problem. Got the echo problem. Got the echo problem. Got the. All right, let's see if it's here now. Okay. There's some latency, but it seems to be okay. Let me go over here and just make sure that. All right, everything sounds good. All right, everything sounds good. All right, everything sounds good. Hello. All right, I think the echo problem is gone for today. I think this is a little bit of a glitch I'm probably going to have to deal with every time that I go live. So next time I will try to do it before we get going. Okay, I'm Charles Longino. I'm the graphic designer at Aspie Tees and Gifts. And what we're going to be doing is we're still working on this design that we started the other day. The first one out of this three is we concept out the idea for our design. Yesterday we started drawing some things, and today we're going to dive right in. I'm very excited about this design, and I'm excited about showing you a couple of different things. I did a little more research about Iceland and about runes, and we're going to talk about that. It's going to be very cool, very interesting. And so we're going to design that, and I'm going to show you an easy way that you will be able to create designs on either a sketch app like this or Photoshop or whatever you use, whatever kind of drawing app that you have, that will hopefully have the same tools. But if not, get Sketch Club. It's very cheap. It's a terrific app for the iPad, and you'll be able to do this. But I'm going to show you a trick where you can create some Celtic or Norse designs. You know how they have all these intricate designs very easily, and we'll go over that a little bit more, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. But what we want to do at this point is make sure I'm going to go ahead and check the chat and see if everything's okay on the sound. From this point it looks okay, and I am going to play something on the computer real quick. And that did not come up. Oh man. All right, let's see if I come here.
Jolabokaflod. Jolabokaflod. Jolabokaflod.
Okay, and it's still echoing.
Jolabokaflod.
Okay, and it's still echoing.
Jolabokaflod.
Okay, and it's still. All right, let's go ahead and forge forward. We'll turn off that echo, and you know, I'll try and problem solve this after we turn this off. Apparently, I keep thinking I get it resolved, and then it keeps cropping up. So that's, you know, one of the problems when you use a Mac is Mac updates their operating software once a year, and a lot of these programs are really designed for Windows, and we're porting it over to Mac, and then you get little bugs like this. So anyways, it'll get worked out. My son was nice enough to bring me some coffee, so let's take a look at what we're doing and get started. Now, to catch up anybody who wasn't here when we were concepting this out, or yesterday, I'm going to give you a quick, let me just fix this mic there a little bit. I'm going to give you a quick overview. This is it's called Jolabokaflod. Jolabokaflod. I have it, the correct pronunciation, and I was hoping to just be able to play that for you. But what it means is book flood. And it's a tradition in Iceland where they give books for Christmas Eve. And part of that tradition is on Christmas Eve, you get some chocolates, you get snuggly, you get in your bed, and you read your books that you were given. And this is a tradition that goes back to World War II when they were short on supplies. And the Icelanders, you know, they like to read, which makes sense because they don't have as much outdoors time. So they, you know, with the light being limited up there in Iceland, it would make sense to me. I haven't been there, but they, you know, you would find more indoor activities. So that being said, after the World War II, when supplies were restricted, what you could use, you know, they rationed everything out. In the United States, we had ration stamps. You know, people were able to, there weren't any rations on paper, so they published a ton of books. And so this is a tradition, goes back to right after World War II, 1944. I guess that would be still during the war. Or no, that would be right after. Anyways, my mind fades. So we have, it's really kind of a neat holiday, and I'm excited about doing this design because I think that it's a super cool holiday. So we're going to jump right in here. I'm going to stop talking so much. Let's see, I need to jump out of this into here, the one we're working on. And this is the pillow that we started yesterday. Now the book, I had started working on the book and just put it on a different layer. But, you know, this is what I was talking about, doing some shadowing, giving it the look. You know, if we have our light source, let me just make sure I'm on another. But, you know, if we have our light, we have our light source up in this area up here. Wow, look at that bulb. Amazing. All right, so, you know, our light is shining down in this direction. Here, we're going to get a little bit of shadow over on this side right here. But we wouldn't really get a whole lot of shadow here. So, you know, during this illustration, that's where we're going to put it. I might bring it, you know, towards us a little bit and tone that down. But the reason that, you know, I probably wouldn't have put anything. I mean, this is a design going on a t-shirt. This is not, you know, some sort of fine art that we're doing here. But, you know, we wanted to, let me clear this out. One of the things that we talked about when we were concepting it is having this pillow possibly lean back towards against the headboard. And so, you know, we have to put in here and show a little bit of dimension here where the bed is going to meet the wall. So I just drew a line. We're going to thicken it up because there's going to be a little bit of space between the two. And then we're going to put some runes and some Nordic type art, which is very similar to Celtic, ancient Celtic art, and the fact that it's a series of ropes and patterns. You see a lot of sea monsters, dragons, things like that, and the Norse runes. So, you know, I figured we might do some panels here, some repeating panels around there, and make it look like a woodcut, you know. And so anyways, I thought that would be cool. Might end up being too busy, but it was a chance for me to kind of look into Icelandic runes, Nordic runes, and I found it interesting. You know, there's a book out by Neil Gaiman about Norse mythology, and I downloaded the audio book because sometimes if I'm out in the shop and I'm printing or doing anything like that, I like to listen to an audio book. So it gives me it gives me a little bit of entertainment, but I can still have use of my hands and everything else and get some things done. And sometimes I don't have a lot of company out there. So it's something that I like to do. So I downloaded the book. I've had it in my library for probably a year, and I haven't listened to it. You know, and this gives me an opportunity where I think I'm gonna take a listen to that book on tape. So it's supposed to be excellent. If anybody's listened to it, leave a comment down in one of the comment sections because I would love to know. Oh, the other thing that I would like to address before we get too far is I did the drawing yesterday, and the winner for this week is Elizabeth Logan Wilson. And so we will be contacting her, and she's going to win a t-shirt or tote bag of any of our designs in our shop. But she is our winner this week, and starting yesterday, anybody who commented yesterday all the way through next Wednesday is going to be in our next week drawing. So please leave a comment. You don't have to make any kind of long statement. Just say hi or let us know where you're watching from, and you know that's enough that we'll be able to contact you and we can enter you into the drawing. So anyways, I wanted to cover that. And again, you know, on any of the different platforms, make sure you subscribe, you like the page, you follow us, whatever it is. But you know, we do this broadcast every day at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we would love for you to be able to participate in this way you can get notifications when we're going live. So please like our pages, follow us, and make a comment. Give us a little bit of love, especially on Periscope. You know, if you like what we're saying, and, you know, hit the heart button. But anyway, so let's dive right in here. Let's get rid of this. First, we're going to start on the book. So what I did here is I simply drew a square. Now this book is going to be leaning back a little bit, not a lot, and is going to be open. So what we want to do, I did a little bit, but we don't want this box completely, well, rectangular with 90-degree angles at each corner. We want to move it into what it would be a trapezoid, where we shorten the top, send out the bottom a little bit, not a lot. We just need to let the eye know. And you know, we really should do that a little bit on the pillow too. I didn't do that. Let me go down here to the pillow. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Yeah, again, we talked about this as being a rasterized program, so anything that we do is destructive. So I usually like to copy one down to another layer, in case I'll look back on it and think for some reason, you know, why did I do that? I shouldn't have done that. So we're going to transform it. Now we have our bounding box here when we do a transformation. And the nice thing here is you can move the sides in straight, tops and bottoms. But with this program, I can grab one of the corners and then I can move just that corner in slightly. And then grab this corner and then just move that in a little bit. And then that way, I'll move this one in. Might grab this. Now is giving the illusion that that pillows, and you don't have to do a lot. You'd be surprised at how subtle changes our eyes can pick up on. But that actually looks like it's leaning back now, whereas before, it did a little bit with the highlights, but this just makes it look a little bit more like what we're trying to achieve. We're going to do the same thing with this book. It's very important, with perspective, that if we're going to leave something back, we take into consideration how that's going to affect our design. All right. And you can see the square bounding box. I had already done it a little bit, but I think it ought to be leaning back a little bit more than the pillow, since we're resting this against the pillow. Whoops. And then we'll grab the other side. Okay, that looks like it's leaning back. And what I'm going to do too is just, if I take both fingers, I can, whoops. I'm going to move it up a little bit. This is a hardback book, so it's good size. That would probably be about, maybe a little bit smaller than that, half the pillow. And then we'll do a little bit of shading in there once we're done, to make it look like, with our light source, that's actually leaning back. Paint. Well, I'm going to leave those lines for now. So what we're going to do here with this book is we're going to make it easy on ourselves. I'm all about making it easy. So we're going to copy down to a new layer the same book outline. Now, when we look at a book, you're going to have the cover is what we're going to see. Remember, our light source is top right, but we also are looking at our perspective. If this is leaning back, you can tell here, based on our light and everything, we're kind of looking down at it a little bit. So we want to, and we're probably looking at it a little bit from direct. So what I want to do is just take this. And we have to give some dimension to this book and its pages. So not only is this going to go down a little bit, and keep in mind too, we can do one side with a few more pages than the other, but we're not going to do that. So we'll do that there. I'm actually going to copy this down one more time. Let's see. And then I'm going to increase the size of this for our cover. Now, if it's open, the book, it's going to pull in the pages a little bit. And we're going to find that the tops and bottoms are not going to be as pronounced as the sides. So, grab this top. Bring it down a little bit. Done. What? Then we're going to move this up. You can also come over here and grab these dimensions here. I don't want to do that. All right, that looks good there. So let's get rid of some of these extra lines. Let's merge everything down. Merge. And so grab out our handy dandy eraser. The first thing we'll do is get rid of these center lines, and we'll come back and draw them in. And we are just using this as some guides. So it doesn't have to look pretty. Yeah. Sometimes you kind of lose what you're doing. At least I do. All right, so let's grab our pen. This nib down to a reasonable size. And we're going to create a box that is resting on board. Okay. All right, so let's see if we did this right. All right, so let's draw back in that center line. All right, so what we are doing now, first let's going to get rid of this. And what we're doing now, obviously, you know, when we're done with the book and we rest it where we want it and we shadow it and everything, we're going to get rid of this line right here. But I don't like, because again, I'm going to touch on this. The program that we're using is a rasterized program. And so that means for each pixel or dot on the screen, it's assigning a color to it. And so, and when it assigns another color to it, it replaces it. And so what that means is it's a destructive program. You know, whereas if it's a vectorized program, it knows between these dots there's going to be a line with this slope, and then this area is going to be filled in, so on and so forth, and it's not destructive. You can go back and resize anything without any pixel loss. You can lay it on top of each other and it's not going to destroy the image. But this right here, when I destroy something, it's gone. So that's the reason that I like to use our layers, and then use a layer here that you can see is not destroying anything. I can just come back and clear out this layer. So, you know, right here. So, you know, I'm going to leave that as long as I can, probably until we get down to the final stages of doing this illustration. But the other thing that we're going to do is I'm going to take this out of here and put it into Photoshop over the weekend, and then put our word in here. And that is, and I'm going to make it look like it's cross-stitched into the pillow. So like it's a fancy hand-done pillow. And then, you know, we're gonna put, I was thinking of putting like some Godiva chocolates over here. But I don't think you're gonna be able to tell that they're chocolates. So it's looking like I'll probably do a candy bar, and it might come out here angled and just be resting against the pillow and the book, the edge of the book. Who knows, maybe I'll do it here where it's like holding down the pages. And then, you know, I would like to put something festive. So, you know, if we end up doing these panels around here, you know, I want to give some indication of Christmas. Since this is a Christmas tradition. But if we do our paneling here, you know, maybe I'll do a sprig of holly. Or I could put the holly down here and then just put, you know, chocolate leaning up there. I don't know. All this is getting too busy, but like I was talking about earlier, you know, when I'm designing anything, let's get this box off my face. Whenever I'm designing anything, I tend to make it busy and then just edit it back. You know, I like to doodle and fool around with this stuff. As you can tell, you know, I go a little bit slower for the streams. And also, I'm not using all the tools that I would use on the stream, like going back and forth to Photoshop to make things much more expedient for me. So what I'm doing here is I'm just, you know, taking my time with sketching this out. So let me just kind of move this off of the screen, clear this out. Hey, how are you? See, what did I do? Let me move that back. All right, clear this layer. And so we're back to our book and to our pillow. And so, all right, so what we need to do now is we need to make this book look more realistic. So looking at it, I think I need to come down here. Grab this corner. Move it down like that. Okay, so let me get rid of this pillow so it's not distracting our eye. All right, we need to make this look more realistic. So let's grab some black ink. We're going to come down here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually draw on the layer above it. And I am going to take this layer and I'm going to lower the opacity on it. So what this does, instead of erasing things and doing all that, again, because it's destructive, if I don't do a very good job on it, I don't want to have to draw the box again. So, and also this center line, that center line straight, I don't think it is. I think it needs to be moved over at the top that way. But anyway, so let's get off this layer, go up to the layer above it. And then, you know, let's start thinking about this a little bit more. It's not going to be uniform like this when you open a book. First thing that's going to happen is you're going to have this layer here. This is going to stop between here and here. And then you're going to have an opening like that where the book is actually stitched. And that way you have in the spine area of the book. So the first thing that I want to do is just take two sides of the center line like right here and right here. And then we are just going to draw kind of an oval. Or half of an oval, rather. Now, the other thing is, this is an old book. We wanted to, well, they should be new books, shouldn't they? Well, I'm going to make it old. Maybe they're rereading their favorite book from last year. Or 30 years ago. And that's too spread out. What we're going to do here now is I'm going to come back in. Why is that happening? Figure this out. And then that's more of how it's going to look on the end of on the spine of a book. Probably going to be a little sharper in here. And then this is going to be resting here like that. But it's probably going to bow a little bit too. And I promise by the time we finish this up, this will look like a book. All right. Now, what we'll do is draw the center line from make it big. Get it right up there. Make it more pronounced. All right, we don't need to fool around with that too much. When I get done, I'll come back and fool around with it. Now, I tend to, one of the things that I want to do at this point is, make it look like we didn't use a computer and just draw a bunch of straight lines. We want to make it look real and hand-drawn, so I am going to do my best to draw a straight line up there. If we're a little off, that's okay. Okay, now the other thing is that, down on this area here, books don't open flat out like that. As it opens and the books are attached to this area here on the spine, you're gonna have like these little ledges that's gonna go up. So let's get rid of those two. Let's narrow down this nib a little bit more. And we're gonna have this the board of the book is going to come out here. It's going to attach there. We'll do this side as well. And I always like to start with thinner lines and then come back and thicken things up. Once I've done this, once I get it to, as I'm working on it, it just makes it a little bit easier. So the first couple of pages are probably going to come out further than this. So I'm going to actually do this down to let me get I need a book here on my bookshelf. I just want to see. All right, yeah. So when it opens, there's two pieces here. This going down here is the outside. It's not the cover, but this is what covers up the spine, this little piece of cloth. And it's going to attach the two book boards on the end. Now the pages are actually connected right in here. Oops. Probably a little too far. Hey, if you have problems getting something started like that, you can do this thing. Where you just use lines to create what you want to draw, and then go back and erase it. So right about to there. Not the entire line, but you know, you erase the bumps. You know, if you're looking at something and you're sketching it out based on like a real life sketch, that's typically what you want to do. But you know, if you're drawing with like a pencil, what you would do is you would just make very, very, very light marks with the pencil to give you the structure that you want to follow, and then you go back and you darken it in. And you might use your eraser to kind of clean it up a little bit. Because we're, you know, doing this digitally, a lot of times I will just try and knock it out first stroke. And a lot of times I fail. You know, I'm going to come down here and just lower that opacity a little bit more. Even more than that. I don't really have. I want to be the book that we're drawing. So, like I was talking about here, is it's going to tend to be more layered. You're going to have a couple pages here. They're going to come up at an angle because it's being pulled back at the same angle here, because you know all these pages are attached to this area, so you know back on that spine. But you know we're going to get a few pages that are going to go like this, and then they're going to come up, and then you know like that, going to come over, and as we go up they're going to pull back more, and then you're going to find that they are going to kind of start lifting up a little bit, you know. I think. Maybe I'll just do it like, did I get too far? And then you know, we might have a couple pages that are going to, you know, come up and be a little bit shorter, you know, kind of like that. You know, we can make it where we have chunks, you know, a lot of times they can probably 10 or 15 page chunks when they do it. And then, you know, the top end, you have just a couple, you know, pieces. I might come back and do that. I don't know. But, you know, to get things moving along here, we'll just do it this way. All right, I got the box around my face again. Let me just take a quick look at the chats here and see if anybody has any questions. We've got a couple of people here. Good morning. It's good to see you, Kelly. Thank you for stopping by. It's greatly appreciated. Here. Okay, we don't have any questions at the moment, so I'm going to keep on keeping on. Now, one of the things that I have today is my wife is up in New York, so I've got 3 kids I've got to wrangle. Oh, that shouldn't. I knew something was looking wrong. That would be coming up there. Okay, but as I was saying, I've got 3 kids that are getting out of school early today, so I've got to run over and pick them up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up cutting this short. We've gone about 45 minutes today. I generally try to keep it to 2 hours, but I've got to get things wrapped up here at the office to go get the 3 munchkins, and I'm going to take them out for green pancakes and maybe take them to see the Grinch this afternoon. So because of that, I'm going to cut this short. Say thank you everybody for watching. I will this weekend get this live stream moving along a little bit faster. You'll come back probably on Monday. I will have something finished. But before we go, I did want to show you, that trick for the runes. So let me just kind of pop out of this real quickly and show you what I was talking about. Well, actually, what I'll do is, so we can have plenty of time for that, is I'll go over that on Monday. I'll get the book finished up and the chocolate and the mistletoe, and then we'll go over the runes and everything on Monday, and you can see how we do that. All right, it'll be great. So please come join us. Make sure that you make a comment, subscribe, like the page. So we do this every weekday at 10 o'clock, and we would really love for you to join us. Thanks so much. Have a great day and a wonderful weekend.